The love affair with smoke. Lena had always been drawn to the scent. There was something about the smoky tendrils of a cigarette that captivated her, a strange blend of rebellion and warmth. It wasn't just the nicotine that called to her. It was the ritual, the moment of solitude it provided. Her fingers would wrap around the smooth cylinder, the tip glowing faintly as she took her first drag, the smoke swirling around her in delicate patterns. For her, each inhale was a love letter to a lover that would never disappoint. It began in her late teens, the age when curiosity mingled with the desire for something to make her feel grown up. Her first cigarette was nothing more than a social experiment. She had seen older kids do it, seen them puff confidently as they leaned against the wall of a dimly lit alley. At first, the taste was acrid, almost nauseating. But then something clicked. Her mind became clearer. The edges of her anxiety softened. It wasn't love at first smoke, but it was a start. Over time, the relationship deepened. Cigarettes became more than just an escape. They were a companion, a confidant. During late-night drives, when the world was still and the only company she had was her own thoughts, she'd light up, letting the smoke curl around her fingers, letting her mind drift. Each puff seemed to calm her, to quiet the noise inside her head. It became part of her identity, something she wasn't ashamed of, but something she kept private. Her friends would ask her why she smoked, some offering advice to quit, while others nodded in understanding. "It's not good for you," they'd say, but they didn't really understand. It wasn't about the harm. It wasn't even about the nicotine. It was about the moment. The pause in time where everything felt still, where the world outside her body ceased to exist, and the cigarette was the only thing that mattered. The flick of the lighter, the soft exhale, the connection between her lips and the smoke. But no love story is ever without its complications. Lena knew the risks, had seen the statistics, heard the warnings, and watched the ads on TV. And yet, every time she decided to quit, the cravings would hit. Her body would ache for that first hit of smoke, and before long she would find herself with another pack, another match to strike. It wasn't that she didn't care about the consequences. She did. It was just that sometimes love wasn't always rational. It wasn't always about what was best for you. It was about the comfort, the feeling of being understood without words, the fleeting satisfaction that soothed her soul in ways other things couldn't. Her love for cigarettes was a dangerous one, but it was hers, undeniable and persistent. As she sat in the park one afternoon, cigarette in hand, Lena thought about how it had become a part of her rhythm, like a heartbeat she couldn't ignore. She had tried to replace it with other habits, healthier ones, but none could replicate the same feeling. None could match the intimacy she shared with the smoke. In a world that was constantly moving, always demanding more, the cigarette was the pause, the stillness, the love that always waited for her. Perhaps one day she'd quit for good. But for now, she was content with the relationship she had. A love affair with smoke that filled the empty spaces inside her. This story reflects the complex, sometimes bittersweet relationship many people have with smoking. It emphasizes the emotional attachment and the comfort some find in the ritual of smoking, even knowing its risks.